chill and relax. We've got Momoshiki, Indra, Boruto, Kinshiki, Ashura, Urashiki, Toneri, Kawaki, Hagoromo, Ishiki, Kaguya, Hamura, and Shibai. And out of all of them, we're going to run a simulation and determine who's the strongest, the one worthy of the title, the Strongest Otsutsuki. Yeah, even though you guys can probably already guess. Yeah, just for fun, guys. In the first battle, we've got Indra versus Momoshiki. Indra Otsutsuki, the first son of Hagoromo, inherited spiritual power and became the ancestor of the Uchiha clan. He was known as a genius from a young age, awakening the Mangekyo Sharingan and even creating a perfect Susanoo. He's not only powerful but also intelligent and strategic. However, despite being an Otsutsuki, human blood still flows in his veins, which limits his strength compared to the full-blooded Otsutsuki. On the other hand, Momoshiki Otsutsuki is a pure-blooded Otsutsuki from another dimension. He didn't come to wage war, he came to destroy worlds by absorbing energy through the chakra tree. He also possesses Rinnegan in his palms, allowing him to absorb and reflect any attack, along with terrifying destructive power. In a one-on-one battle, Indra might be able to hold out for a while with tactics or his Susanoo defense, but in the end, Momoshiki's power is just too absolute. Indra's attacks would be absorbed. His genjutsu might not even work on a being like Momoshiki, and once the counterattack is launched, there would be no place to hide except in complete defeat. So in conclusion, between Indra and Momoshiki, the winner is Momoshiki. Not because Indra is weak, but because his opponent isn't even human. So Momoshiki moves on to the next match, and then Boruto timeskip versus Kinshiki. Boruto is no longer just the boy who inherited the great Uzumaki name, he's now a full-fledged Otsutsuki. After his body was 100% extracted by Momoshiki's karma, Boruto's power increased rapidly, and that was only in karma mode, not even Borushiki mode. But actually the main factor isn't the karma itself. Karma is undeniably the core of Boruto's power, but only during the next generation era. After the time skip, Boruto's greatest potential lies in Kashin Koji, his new sensei who teaches him several techniques that he masters even earlier than any other jutsu he learns in the future. As for Kinshiki Otsutsuki, he is indeed a brutal and loyal warrior who is Momoshiki's right-hand man. His strength lies in a nearly indestructible physical body, as well as the ability to create massive chakra weapons that can cut through dimensions. Kinshiki is not a cunning fighter. He is a walking tank that relies on raw power. However, in this duel, speed and strategy trump brute strength. Boruto, with his genius and some ultimate techniques like Hiraishin or even Uzuhiko, will be able to dodge all of Kinshiki's attacks. And more than that, Boruto has access to high-level techniques, a fusion of human, ninja, and Otsutsuki powers. Kinshiki might be able to withstand an attack or two, but at the end of the day, he's a warrior, while Boruto is the shinobi equivalent of a pure Otsutsuki. So the winner is Boruto with absolute dominance, and he goes into the next match. Ashura Otsutsuki versus Urashiki. As the youngest son of Hagoromo, Ashura was not a genius like Indra, but his strength grew out of determination, hard work, and strength of heart. Endowed with chakra and several other powers by his father, Ashura possesses incredible stamina, massive physical strength, and techniques capable of uniting many people under one will. His main strength isn't just in jutsu, but in the determination to keep standing despite being hit multiple times. Urashiki Otsutsuki is one of the most dangerous members of the Otsutsuki clan. Alongside Momoshiki and Kinshiki, he is considered an even greater threat than Kaguya. He was able to take on 2 Kage at once and even defeated Toneri with ease. Urashiki possesses immense physical strength and exceptional agility. His weapon is a chakra fishing rod that allows him to steal his opponent's chakra and use their techniques. By absorbing chakra from Gaara and Mitsuki, he could wield sand techniques and lightning-style jutsu. Urashiki also mastered space-time ninjutsu, such as Yomotsu Hirasaka. His Byakugan grants him the ability to see chakra flow, while his red Rinnegan with Tomoe holds special powers that have yet to be fully revealed. But when trickery meets purity of purpose, the results start to become clear. Urashiki can steal Ashura's chakra, can dimension jump, and attack from behind. But Ashura isn't just a fighter, he's the heir to pure power. In duels with each other, Urashiki might dominate in the beginning, but the longer he fights, Ashura will have the upper hand as the heir to Hagoromo's power. With an absolute technique like the multiple Rasengan from the Kurama transformation during his fight against Indra, Urashiki had no other option but total defeat. So the winner is Ashura Otsutsuki, not because he is smarter, but because he is truly stronger. Therefore, Ashura moves on to the next match, and it's Teneri Otsutsuki versus Kawaki. As we know, Toneri Otsutsuki is one of the members of the Otsutsuki clan who appeared in the movie The Last, Naruto the movie. He is a descendant of Hamura Otsutsuki and possesses incredible power, especially after gaining energy from Tensegan. Toneri is a lunar chakra master who possesses incredible power. With the ability to control the moon's gravity and energy, he is able to launch devastating attacks from long distances. The giant chakra weapon he created is a symbol of his devastating power. Its fast regeneration and high durability make it almost invincible. On the other hand, there's Kawaki, a human equipped with Isshiki's karma seal and the power source of an Otsutsuki. The karma grants him the ability to absorb his opponent's chakra or jutsu. Even after the time skip, he has fully inherited Isshiki's power and received modifications from Amado to maximize his durability, almost reaching the level of immortality. On top of that, the combination of ninjutsu and advanced technology makes him extremely adaptive on the battlefield. Even though it may seem unfair, if Toneri were to fight Kawaki, who literally comes from a more advanced generation, Kawaki, with his karma power and rapid adaptability, would most likely win. So in the match between Kawaki and Toneri, the winner is Kawaki. Hagoromo Otsutsuki versus Ishiki Otsutsuki next. Two Otsutsuki with different generations and ranks. Hagoromo is known as the Sage of Six Paths, a human demigod who inherited power directly from Kaguya. He possesses Rinnegan, full control over chakra, and is the creator of the basic jutsu in the ninja world. With the power of Six Paths Senjutsu, he can create new worlds or even destroy them. Meanwhile, Ishiki Otsutsuki, a pure member of the Otsutsuki clan, came to Earth to plant the chakra tree. He possessed overwhelming power, including the ability to shrink himself and any object using his dojutsu, Sukunahi Kona, and store them in another dimension called Daikoku 10. His body was nearly untouchable, his speed was extraordinary, and his strength was enough to overpower both Naruto and Sasuke even when they fought together. Although Naruto activated the extremely powerful Baryon mode, which was capable of shortening Ishiki's lifespan, that power came with a heavy risk. In the end, Ishiki still managed to overwhelm them and nearly achieved his goal before ultimately being defeated due to the Baryon mode's effect that rapidly accelerated his death. So if Ishiki were to fight Hagoromo, it seems clear that Ishiki, with his more agile fighting techniques and other advantages, would still come out on top. So Ishiki moves on to the next match. Next up is Kaguya Otsutsuki versus Hamura Otsutsuki. It seems like for this match, we don't need to say much, guys. Between a mother and son, who are clearly different in terms of strength, Kaguya is definitely superior in every way. You agree, right? So Kaguya moves on to the next level. So in the second level, we start with Boruto timeskip versus Momoshiki. In terms of strength and other aspects, Boruto after the timeskip is clearly much more powerful, as I mentioned earlier. In other words, he is stronger than he was before the timeskip. Although it's true that in the pre-timeskip era, Boruto defeated Momoshiki, that victory was absolutely due to the help of Naruto and Sasuke. But we can't deny the fact that the current Boruto fighting Momoshiki without his father's help would definitely win, right? So between Boruto and Momoshiki, the winner is Boruto. Kawaki timeskip versus Ashura next. A brutal fight between these two entities. Maybe if it happens, this is a very epic battle. With karma, a technologically modified body, and the power of super fast regeneration, Kawaki will become a terrible anomaly if he clashes with Ashura. Kawaki is able to absorb ninjutsu as an absolute power, which might be a tricky thing if Ashura has to fight with him. And even though Ashura inherited various powers from Hagoromo, it seems that with more advanced techniques, fighting style, and generation, Kawaki will still top as the winner if he fights against Ashura. Next, Ishiki Otsutsuki versus Kaguya. Two top-level Otsutsuki entities with abilities beyond reason. Let's keep it short, guys. Although it's true that Ishiki was defeated by Kaguya, it's undeniable that her victory came through unfair means. She betrayed him and attacked from behind, just like what Black Zetsu did to Madara. No matter how strong you are, if you're attacked by someone you don't suspect, without knowing it, you'll lose. So even though Kaguya once killed Ishiki in a pure one-on-one fight, Ishiki would absolutely be the winner. Especially since, in terms of ranking within the Otsutsuki clan, Ishiki is above Kaguya. Oh yeah, since I didn't know how the battle system works with an odd number of participants, let's just assume Kaguya gets the privilege of fighting twice. Kaguya Otsutsuki versus Shibai. No need to say much, Shibai is the absolute winner. Kaguya is strong, but Shibai exists on a level where the very concept of power no longer matters. He doesn't need to fight. Just his intent alone causes destruction. So we're down to the grand finals. Boruto versus Kawaki. Yeah, we all know it, guys. I probably don't even need to say much, right? By chapter 22, Boruto's power has already reached a whole new level, even without relying on karma. Meanwhile, Kawaki mostly depends on his regeneration ability just to survive. In fact, their fight was already shown back in chapter 9, and it clearly proved that Boruto was the winner. Next, since Isshiki previously defeated Kaguya, he now moves on to face Shibai. But the final conclusion is that Ishiki has no chance of winning even 1%. And finally, the finals have come. Boruto Otsutsuki versus Shibai Otsutsuki. I honestly want to laugh, but I will try to say this with a casual expression and remain professional. As an anomalous entity who has consumed countless forms of life energy across planets, evolved and ascended to a higher dimension, even if Boruto, despite being the main character, is aided by Momoshiki or even Naruto, it would all be meaningless. Shibai wins absolutely, without even needing to fight. And so it has been decided, Shibai Otsutsuki is the winner and officially holds the title of the Strongest Otsutsuki. But anyway, starting from Momoshiki versus Indra, Boruto versus Kinshiki, Ashura versus Urashiki, Toneri versus Kawaki, Hagoromo versus Ishiki, and Kaguya versus Hamura. Which one of them do you think should have won, but I think he lost? Let's discuss in the comment section, guys. Thanks for watching. Like and subs. I'm Nim. See you in the next video. Bye bye, Dada Bio.